Hey, what's up? It's the disembodied voice of Chase here, and today we're going to be going over my power rankings for week 19 heading into Brazil. So let's just start these rankings. And kicking this list off at number 10, surprise, surprise, Haas is back. This was Haas's best opportunity to score any points, and they completely fumbled it. They started this race in P14 for Mick and P15 for Nikita, and Mick was involved in the collision in turn 1, so sure, whatever, mulligan. But then Nikita ended up in last place out of all the cars that finished and 3 laps off of the pace. 3 laps! That Haas is a glorified pylon, and I'm really starting to feel bad for those 2 rookies. I'm even gaining some sympathy for Nikita in this situation, and that's saying something. Dropping a place from number 8 to number 9 in this week's power ranking is Williams. Again, they were in good position to score points with the amount of teams taking penalties, including George himself taking a 5-place grid penalty due to him blowing up a gearbox in practice. But that didn't really mean anything either. They finished in 16th and 17th, which were second last and third last out of all the cars that finished. The only car they beat was Nikita in the garbage truck, and that's not that great. I expect a lot out of Williams, out of the performances they've been putting in, and it just wasn't their weekend this weekend, so hopefully they can scrap back up and get up higher in the power rankings. But this weekend, after some of the other solid performances, they dropped a place. Coming in 8th is another team that's dropping a position this week, and that's Alpine. Alpine had a bit of a weekend to forget. Ocon was the subject of a rookie sandwich between Yuki and Mick, and that completely threw off the start of his race. And I mean, hell, Alonso did come in P9 and score some points, but overall it was a weekend to forget for the team. They've been not struggling as of recent, but they're directly in the middle. And there was other teams that showed more promise, as these guys are showing regression instead of progression, so that's why they dropped a place this week. Coming in number 7 is Aston Martin. Aston Martin was definitely a Jekyll and Hyde situation this weekend. Seb was doing Seb things and came in 7th, getting a good haul of points for this midfield team, and Lance destroyed his car in qualifying, making the mechanics stay up all night to fix a car that he was just going to drive through the grass. It was rough. Lance won my Better Luck Next Weekend award, and again, as an Aston Martin fan, it hurts to drop him a place, but I definitely probably still am overrating them, but that's why they came in where they did this week. Well, let's give a round of applause for the first team that's actually moving up this week, and that's Alfa Romeo, coming in 6th, up from 9th. Alfa Romeo is the first team that's moving up this week, and that's mostly because of their drivers and not so much because of their strategy. We have Raikkonen coming in 8th, and we have Italian Jesus coming in 11th. And he probably would have done better if he didn't get pulled into the pit so early, which was a weird call because he was running in 6th for quite a bit. But they had a much better race than they did in America. And again, in that midfield, it's quite unpredictable. So these places are going to be fluctuating a lot, and it's all about what team does the best that weekend. And I really honestly believe that Alfa Romeo seized their opportunities and had quite a weekend. Well, let's get back to the trend of dropping places, and coming in 5th is McLaren. Again, another team I probably overrated in my initial rankings, but they have had a bit of a fall from grace, and you had to see where I was coming from their past results. But the biggest blow is losing to Ferrari in the Constructors' Championship and the lead that they've given up. It's crazy. I thought they were going to keep it close, and I thought they would be leaving Mexico, but they're losing to Ferrari, and it is a pretty decent margin. Let's hope that the boys in McLaren and the Papaya team can clean it up and get to more competitive racing, but as of now, I think this might be where they're hovering for the rest of the season. Coming in at number 4 is another team moving up a place, and that's AlphaTauri. If you think that's mean, you should hear what Christian Horner said about Yuki. But I digress, I'm not going to get into that. Yuki did have a great qualifying session, making in the Q3 and looking like he was on pace to have a great race until he was part of the rookie sandwich between him, Mick, and Esteban Ocon being the non-rookie element in this sandwich. So Pierre had a great race starting in P4 and continuing in P4 for a majority of the race, kind of having a quiet race, not being in contention to catch the top 3 and not really being in danger from 5th. So that's why they moved up, and they're having a great drive, and I can really see them consistently doing well for the remainder of the season. Coming in 3rd is another team that's dropping a place this week, and that's Mercedes. Look, I'm not going to say it's over for Mercedes, and I'm not going to be the doom and gloom bringer. They have a 7-time world champion on their team, and anything is possible in F1. But this week was not a good week for them. They got unlucky with Danny Rick spinning out Bottas, and Lewis just didn't have the pace to catch Max. There isn't much more that they could have done. They kind of gave it their all and came up short. So I really think they're going to be fighting for the next couple of weeks, but there's some other teams that outperform them, and you'll see them. Coming in 2nd, up from 4th last week, is Ferrari. I don't know if it's me overrating another team or the Italian in my blood, but I'm putting Ferrari 2nd and I'm sticking to it. Having Charles 5th and Carlos 6th was enough of a points haul to pass McLaren for 3rd in the Constructors' Championship, giving themselves a bit of a cushion as well. It's great to see Ferrari back up there competing with the big boys, and mind you, did they either one of them have a better performance than Lewis? No, but them combined had a better performance than Lewis and Bottas combined. Coming in P1 again is Red Bull Racing. You couldn't have asked much more from Red Bull this weekend. Let's be real. Starting P3 and P4, making it through the carnage, Max emerging through it in 1st place after a great move going 3 wide into the 1st turn and then holding that lead and expanding on it for the entire race, while Checo bumped up to P3 in his home Grand Prix, being the first Mexican driver to lead a lap and the first Mexican driver to be on the podium. It was cause for celebration for the whole team, for the whole country. It was quite the sight. And a P1 and a P3, both being on the podium, both drivers, no matter what team you are, that's going to secure you number 1 in the power rankings. So those are my week 19 power rankings. I would love to know what you guys thought about them in the comment section down below. Let me know what your power rankings are down there as well. And please, if you like what I'm doing here, I'd love it if you hit that subscribe button. Remember to feed the YouTube algorithm gods by hitting that thumbs up button, and make sure to check back for my race preview coming up before the race. My race review for Mexico will be linked at the end of this video. As always, I'm Chase, and thank you for joining me. I'll see you in the next one.